single time without fail. I think we're live, or we should, in theory, be
and then
live.
you go on YouTube to look at the video and it says starting soon, even though you started like 2 minutes ago.
Oh, we've already got.
So
wow, that was extremely quick. We've already got the bots already on it.
Oh, nice. I'll copy it and share it then.
I think that might be the first time I've ever seen that bot be quicker than the actual YouTube notification.
Yeah. Right, I'll put it in big announcements, not just GT announcements.
Yeah. Let's hope that Genrick sees that. Otherwise, he's getting called Genrick for the entire stream, and we'll get moaned at afterwards. But he'll be fine. But yeah. Let's hope he gets a hold of that message before we start. Viking says that we need to give everyone a minute before we start quality to allow them to put in set values. That's fine. That is.
Was that the 50% fuel?
No, it's the Aero values because for some reason GT doesn't
Oh,
allow you
yeah.
to save them.
Yeah, typical.
It's incredible.
Right, the lobby's definitely up.
Yeah, you want to go on stream, make sure we can both be heard and everything is.
Yeah, we
it
were
should be.
coming out.
35 morning. We'll do this. This is how we'll reset. Hello. Alright, just resetting everything and then give everyone a minute.
I'll take that. You can be crafty, that's absolutely fine with me.
Hello, Pegasus. That's not a that is not a name I'm used to saying. I'll say that much.
No.
Why am I trying to enter? I'm so used to driving. I just tried to enter a Mazda Roadster instead of a Group 3 car.
Please don't accidentally race and hit in this.
Oh god. That'd be
Alright
incredible.
guys, welcome to the very first ALR esports race. The first of many, we hope. This is going to be an 8-round season featuring 5 esports teams. Some of them will be familiar to ALR and some of them are brand new. So yeah, do you want to go through the grid, Pyro?
Yeah, so we've got 5 teams. So I won't put him right for the win in the chat. Yeah, so we've got 5 teams of 3 on this grid. All of
3,
those...
not 4, not 6. 3 in a race. The teams are much bigger. Only 3 in a race.
Definitely not a shot already at ESP for thinking you could have
I'm
6 of them in here.
just being very clear for everyone.
There's 5 different teams. So the teams are Project Platypus. It's Perry's team that he founded. I guess you can call it the ALR spin-off if you want to go off that. Then there is V2. There is Arix. You ought to be able to see by the gold and the black. Then there's Pegasus, which was purple and orange. And ESP as well, that has non-matching liveries, which could be quite funny.
Yes,
for the rest of the day.
they didn't make the liveries in time, so feel free to give them some abuse in the chat for not prioritizing livery making over anything else in their lives.
Viking is now known as Vimpto Dog.
Who's up for Project Platypus? So representing us today, because me and Pyro are also part of Project Platypus, so we'll be racing at some point this season as well. We've got Viking Dog, he's a one-time ALR champion in Tier 1, so expect big things from him hopefully tonight. We've also got BX Royal, who's a last-minute stand-in, because it was meant to be Dan the Man, but Dan's internet's down, so we've got super sub BX Royal. I think he'll do us proud even with not much practice. And we've got Perry. Perry is in Tier 2. He's in the AMG 2020 version today. Viking Dog's in the Corvette, which is one of his favorites. And BX is in the Ferrari, which he is hoping with this new aero settings where you can adjust the aero and the downforce, he can drag it into competitiveness.
Yeah, and someone just going totally impartial commentators. You know me and Ross, we bully everyone.
We actually will be impartial though, because any mistake that our team does will probably be harsher than anyone else, to be fair.
I'm about to say, we bully everyone in equal measures until somebody makes a mistake and then they get hammered down for 30 laps.
We're in equal opportunities with Racing League, and that comes to insulting poor performance as well.
Yeah, Arix, because I know we've gone through Project Platypus. Arix is Javi, Slim, and Peachy. Yep, got that at the bottom.
2 tier 1 drivers, and Peachy's in tier 3, so expecting, well, Javi is at the defending GT7 champion in ALR, so definitely should be in contention for the win. Slim's quite solid. He's always picked horrible cars in in the Monday League, so let's see what he can do tonight. What cars are they in?
It looked like Peachy is in a V12 Vantage RX Vision for the other two RX drivers. And then we've got V2. V2 is Mortal Velos. Mortal is a tier 1 driver in the Mercedes here. And then you've got Snipes in the McLaren, and Anru also in a Mercedes group, in the Mercedes 20. Two of them.
I think all the drivers in this one only picked the McLaren or the Mercedes this season. So not a lot of variety on that team. We do have to race in some tracks like Daytona, which are very high speed. So I don't know what they're going to do on that week.
Get battered by everyone apparently.
Well, maybe the aero rules will save them, and they'll suddenly be going 20 kilometers an hour faster down the back straight. Let's see.
Yeah. Then we've got Pegasus. So Pegasus to us are a complete unknown. We've not encountered the team.
None of the drivers on Pegasus have ever raced in ALR.
Yeah, it's a complete unknown, but we've heard extremely good things, and you know, when you're a wild card in this kind of event, you could pose quite a threat. And this time, I believe, it's 2 Porsches, one for Pumpkin and one for Genrick, and then Streetfire is in a Mercedes 20. And then that leaves us with ESP, which is CO2, is in a Mercedes 20.
Popular car tonight, the Mercedes.
Yeah, it's decently quick. I'd be surprised if he is toward the top half, though. Wesley in the RX Vision, we know Wesley quite a lot from picking the worst possible car in Tier 2.
He's in a good car, finally.
Who didn't have half the grid to choose before him this time. And Hammers in an M6, who I believe got relegated to Tier 3 in this league at the end of last season.
He did indeed, but I think he could win races in Tier 3. He's definitely one of the quicker guys in there. It was kind of on the borderline whether we should move him down or not. So I think he might have a unique opportunity here. He's the only one in the M6. We know the M6 is a fantastic car, and it's very, very good around Suzuka. If he can manage his tyres well, which it's only 2 times tyre wear and 2 times fuel on this race, then I think he could potentially get a fairly strong result.
Yeah, especially if he gets a strategy right. That's what it's going to be. The strategy is going to play a lot of part, because you start with half fuel essentially. So that's going to influence when people take their pit stops. Each of these cars have different fueling rates in terms of how much fuel they used corner by corner, lap by lap. So the strategy could be extremely buried here. Just going to start up qualifying. Let's
go.
Everyone got their starting soon message. If you didn't get that, then that is...
Yeah, you gave them plenty of time.
You've had your 5 minutes of glory, trying to do laps around the track and not seeing anything. But yeah, right, let's go. In qualifying, and we're just waiting. It gave everyone more than enough time to actually put their values in as well. We're just going through the grid scene. Who's going to be the first car out? I'm the host, so no host privilege.
That's good actually, because that keeps it nice and neutral. Otherwise, Project Platypus would have a little advantage there.
Yeah, it will happen later on in the season when I end up being host and racing, but that's beside the point.
That's fine. You need a little.
I'll spin any advantage I get away anyway.
That's not like you. You had a good lead on Monday, didn't you?
I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. I put it in the gravel and then got hit.
Oh, where'd you finish in the end? What was it? Was
12th.
it like 13th? Oh, 12th. Okay.
Yeah, I got Pagel on the line. After Pagel also handed me a quite a considerable place as well. I need to. You are right, Capel. I do need to turn my brightness down because I definitely didn't turn that up for Nürburgring in the fog.
In the dark.
Yeah, so I will do that. I probably will do that in between qualifying and the race, though. We're in the middle of qualifying now.
He's just made a comment on the setup. So yeah, the only setups that are allowed are brake balance, obviously, and downforce. You could adjust the downforce. We haven't gone crazy with the allowing multiple different kinds of setup changes, purely because we're racing every week, and this is the very first one. We just want to ease everyone into esports before making any decisions on what to do after with the setups. But yeah, we got Alex Javi, the first man on track, so it would be good to ride on board with him and see how he tackles this Suzuka track. He is our reigning GT7 champion in the Mazda, racing for Arix there. Quite a cool livery, actually.
Yeah, it actually does look pretty good. The gold and the black contrast each other pretty nicely. And we're actually going to go into chase cam with this because I think it's just better to actually watch the actual laps as we go along.
Yeah.
My brightness over 9,000. Yes, I'm aware. I did it for racing purposes. Don't mind me. No one knows if there's any rain to be expected. I literally reset the lobby maybe like 5 minutes before we went. So your guess is as good as ours at the end of the day. But yeah, who do you think is going to be on pole here then?
I'm gonna rule out BX because he hasn't had enough time to practice, but you never know. I think it's between Javi and Viking from the guys that I know. So it's either those two or maybe someone from Pegasus will spring a surprise. I think we're looking at maybe 57s for pole. We saw in the practice lobby a few people do the 58s as Javi gets very squiggly coming out of the second Degner there. That will have lost him maybe 3/10 on this lap. Yeah, what do you think?
Well, it's difficult to back against a reigning champion in Monday League, isn't it? You can't really go against that. So I'm going to go with Javi, but I'm very interested in how Pegasus do. I've heard good things about Pegasus. So I'm expecting that these drivers are able to put on a little bit of a show for us. But,
yeah, I hope so. They're all A-rated drivers, so I didn't see any of them in the A+ category. So that makes me have a little question mark over them.
I would agree, but let's be honest. Since when has actual
well, Auto in the chat's A+ anyway, so if they can get it, anybody can get A+. So maybe they're just not trying as hard as certain people.
Qualifying is 10 minutes, Iggy, as we watch Javi go through the final chicane here. So let's see what the benchmark is. We saw Javi have a bit of a driver error coming out the second Degner. It looks like it's going to be 58. It is going to be a 58. BX the next one to the line. It's a 58.
Ooh, just 0.019 quicker than Arix Javi. And Viking Dog half a second quicker than both of them. So that's a huge lead that Viking Dog's already got in qualifying here. Perry slotting into P4, Andrew P5. I'm going to call him Andrew because that's just easier.
He's going to slander the hell out of you for that.
Arix Slim all the way up into P2 there. So yeah, out-qualifying is a more decorated teammate in ALR.
Yeah, we also saw the mistake. There's going to be more than enough time for Lazio. We got Peachy on the board, who obviously made a mistake in his own right, because he is doing
down
a
in
210. Same with Genrick as well, who hasn't actually done an incredibly good time there. Let's see if we can figure out what someone else is doing. So 10 minutes of qualifying. The tyres aren't going to fall off, so nobody should pit, and Street Fighter goes into 9th place, not far off either driver on either side of them. But yeah, let's see who else is going. Who else do you want to watch right now, Ross?
Let's have a watch of one of these Pegasus guys. Let's get a bit of a measure for how good they are. Who's the top one? Pumpkin Patch in P7, it looks like. South African. First South African in GT7 ALR.
Yeah, dude, your retinas are burning, but you know I'll switch it in a minute. I did it for my own race purposes, and it worked. So shut up.
Are you sure? Are you sure this isn't a contributing factor to you spinning?
It's not, no, it literally was, I didn't actually have this brightness this high until I switched to hood cam on Monday.
See, Pumpkin Patch really struggling there around Spoon, especially on the entry. Didn't hit the apex, and only hit the apex on the exit. So it gave him a little bit of a slingshot onto the back straight as we head into 130R, but yeah, well, he's half a second up on his previous time, but he's
Harry just did a 58.1, by the way.
Oh, a 58.1. So that means Viking Dog might be... Oh yeah, 58 flat for Viking.
Yeah,
really
Viking
getting the chicane wrong here, Pumpkin Patch, so he'll be losing a portion of that half a second that he gained on his previous lap time there. So yeah. I think he'll still be in the 59s. Oh, he actually went slower in the end. He completely wasted that final sector there. Viking in the pits with 36% fuel left. Oh yeah, we're starting on 50% fuel. That confused me. I was like, have we got the fuel consumption wrong there? But no, we haven't.
Also, doesn't look like Street Fighter is doing much on this lap. I'm not sure what if he's planning to set up something else. Let's have a look. So Mortal also in third. Mortal's hit one hell of a stride. Gemrick's best lap is now a 2:05. He's having an incredible time here.
Oof.
Continue watching Street Fighter here actually, and then we'll go on everyone's final laps. Currently 7 minutes in. Suzuka lap just shy of 2 minutes, so
2
everyone
laps
will
left
get an extra lap.
Street Fighter. Yeah.
Oh god, Otto's returned with his dad jokes. Someone kick him, please. Every single stream.
Oh. Really mounting the curbs through the first sector of Street Fighter, which I don't think is the optimal thing to do.
Yeah, it's
not to the extent that he did anyway. He's a 10th down on his fastest lap as well to show for it. I guess you don't really need to pit in qualifying, but we saw Viking did because the tyre wear's so low. I think to waste an in-lap and an out-lap of potentially improving your time might not be the best tactic.
That is true. It also looked like Street Fighter here is just feathering the throttle, maybe just a little bit too much. As Harry does a 57.7.
Wow. Might be worth going on to Viking's POV to see if he can respond.
You might be right. He's going in through the final couple of corners. That's not it!
Oh no! Commentator's curse. Right, it's not going to be this lap. Hopefully he doesn't get a penalty for that, for going a little bit wide there. I think he'll get away with it.
58.1 by the way.
Perry P4, that's a great result so far for Perry. He's actually out-qualifying his teammate BX Royal.
Yeah, that was an outlap anyway for Vikings, so it didn't really matter.
That's fine then.
Yeah, he just pointed out that's an outlap, relax, I beat you to it.
Who's Alex?
Fuck knows.
I think he's talking about Arix, not Alex.
No, I just saw Alex put in the chat. I'm guessing it's something auto-related. Wouldn't be surprising. Everyone gets a new nickname in this chat. Genrick did a 59.1, so he'd actually put in a sub 2 minute time for the first time in this qualifying. Same with Street Fighter.
So at the moment it is Arix and then Project Platypus, then V2, Project Platypus and ESP in the top 5. So quite a varied group of cars, but it looks like Project Platypus has the advantage here in P2, 4 and 7. As Viking's only going not even a 10th quicker at the moment. He needs to find a lot more time on the second half of the lap.
Well, this is the point where he's going to hit a bunch of the straights, so the first couple of sectors are mostly turning sectors here at Suzuka. You've got the two Degners in sector 2, you've got the S's, the famous S's in sector 1. So this is realistically the first point where this Corvette is going to be able to actually show itself.
Yeah.
Where you've got Spoon's curve, realistically, this and the chicane are the only two real corners on the sector that actually require any sort of braking. So this is probably more Vikings' wheelhouse. And there you go.
Oh, he's got purple by 0.13. That's amazing. Right. So now he just has to nail the final corner, which he hasn't done.
He's gone wide again.
The second lap in a row that he's done that. It's really difficult when you're trying to take that flat out in the Corvette. I spun many times in the Group 3 race we did here. He's also losing traction in going around the final bend here.
And he's still done
he
it!
does manage to do it. He loses about a tenth there, but he is on pole position at the moment. It looks like Mortal's qualifying's completely done that.
Okay, we're just going through. We'll go on Javi's point of view, because I think Javi got an extra lap. I don't know what
Is he on the
Mortal
final lap as well?
is
Let's have a
doing.
look. Yeah, it looks like he's pushing, definitely.
Yeah, he's got full control of his car, so he's definitely going for it. No, he isn't.
Oh no, he's 2 seconds back. He's absolutely effed it on the final lap there. So Viking looks like he's going to take pole position for the very first ever esports race for Project Platypus. Great result for that team. Javi second in the end, and Mortal a very solid third place for Mortal. And Perry in tier 2. Remember, Perry's the highest non-tier 1 driver there in P4, and actually outqualified quite a few tier 1 drivers. So he's putting the sweat.
I love how Viking screwed up, gets on pole, and Iggy's response is "sign my butt cheeks."
Very normal reaction.
But yeah, Viking somehow managed to get pole even with the mess up. Javi gets second. Mortal, well, his final lap was shrouded in doing a pirouette in the second and final corner.
Yeah.
You know, Perry in fourth, Andrew in fifth, Wedley in sixth, Slim in seventh after what looked like he was going to have a really good start to quali, and then just failed.
Yeah, he set a really good lap initially, and I think he just failed to live up to that.
Yeah, faded.
So yeah, let's go on the results screen. Let's see what happened a bit further down the grid. So BX Royal 8th after only half an hour of practice, so 8 tenths off the pace at the moment. Then we've got Hammers for ESP, MT Snipes for V2, Peachy for Arix. Genrick is in Pegasus, as is Pumpkin Patch and Street Fighter, so pretty disappointing qualifying all around for those three. They are within 3 tenths of each other. And then we've got CO2 at the back there. He's racing for ESP tonight.
Yeah. That's kind of gone as expected. Well, besides obviously the Pegasus guys, we didn't really know what to expect from them, so their race is just going to be more focusing on going forward, which good luck with a standing start and full start check in a Porsche, but each to their own.
Yeah, there'll be 40th and 15th by turn one, but never mind.
Yeah.
Especially with the Mercedes. Mercedes is very good off the line, those 2 cars behind them. So we'll be looking out for them a little bit later in the race, I think. If I was them, I'd probably start on the harder tyre to get it out the way, starting that far back.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Corvette Viking is well, keep an eye out for him, because the Mazda's really bad off the line. So he might get swallowed up by Mortal and Perry, and potentially Andrew as well. But Viking should just march into a lead in Sector 1, and then we just have to see what happens after that.
Yeah. I do want to point out though, Wesley's out-qualified Slim and BX, which is quite funny because this is the first time ALR's seen Wesley in an actual car and not a go-kart. Yes, I did just call the Audi a go-kart, and same with the Subaru. That Subaru is tragic. I will die on that hill. Even though I know plenty of people who have said to me specifically that it's not. But yeah, just going over the settings one last time, everything should be good. I'm going to put in a starting soon so everyone is aware of what they are doing. Give it a minute or two.
They need to all reset their, what's it called? The Aero, I think, if they want to make any changes between quali and the race. Can they all start on any tyre that they want?
Yes, you just have to use 2. Also, I appreciate that. Capel, now here comes the point where I have to figure out how to set my brightness.
Yeah, I think you need to go back to display settings there.
So that's on the normal one. Hold on. Did I? Hold on. The menu stream. Doing that as 30 just because I'll turn that brightness down.
Yeah,
turn it to 25
good for me.
Just to make sure that everyone can actually see and I'm not burning anyone's retinas off.
These Canadians have sensitive eyes.
In it. I can't remember which one I used originally.
They don't see the sun a lot.
We'll do that. Oh, and it's all of a sudden got really dark. Thank you, Capale.
Oh.
This is
Kind
your
of looks like
fault,
it's about to
Capale.
rain, but... Perry's got a fan in the chat.
Alright, we will... Yeah, just putting one more starting soon. And then not giving them any chance, because we're going now.
Awesome.
Prioritize ray tracing. Sure, but I'm in the middle of a stream, so I'm going to prioritize frame rate first. And
Yes,
then push
definitely.
it back. I don't know about you, but I trust zero in terms of the actual terms of streaming and the PS5's capabilities with that. But yeah, alright, we're getting on the grid. Let's see if anyone can get who's going to get a good start here. So, Viking on pole, Javi on the front row alongside him. Who's going to have the lead down to turn 1 as it lights out? And away we go, and Viking has got a considerably better start here. And it
Great
looks like
start
Mortal.
from Mortal as well.
Yep, you're right, and you pointed out that Mazda's start is tragic.
And Javi's down to third already, battling with Perry to keep that spot in the top 3. But yeah, great start from Mortal there, almost equal to what Viking managed. So he must have been really quick off the line. And then it looks like Andrew is 5th, BX all the way up to P6 now, just past Wesley and Slim. Andrew's off the track.
I think BX
Our first casualty.
I think BX just squeezed him. Oh,
and he's off again!
Oh
dear.
It's already
His race
gone
is over.
wrong. Oh! And there goes
Peachy!
Peachy!
Oh, it's all chaos in the first sector because you cannot go side by side, and these guys are trying to do it and failing miserably. So we got the Pegasus guys approaching the top 10 already, but at the top it's Viking, then it's Mortal, then it's Javi. Wesley all the way down in P8, terrible start for him.
Yeah, it's incredible. So you've already got 4 or 5 guys, if you look at the minimap, who are already crashed or got off to the worst start physically imaginable.
Yeah.
There was already 2 of them tailed off by the end of turn 1. So, yeah, it's the 2 packs, well, actually, I'd say the 3 packs are starting to split off into a little bit of a group already, and it's lap 1.
Yep, and 3 of the top 5 belong to Project Platypus, so an absolutely great start for them. It would be good to have a little check on the tyres, because I'm assuming this top 5 are all on softs.
No, actually, it's a medium tyre there for that Mazda. And that would explain why he's dropping back.
Yeah, he's holding up the Perry and BX right now. Ooh, he saw him power slide through 130R there, and that's allowing Perry to get up close. Looks like Mortal braked really early for that corner. They caught up to him a lot there. Perry's trying to go around the outside, and then he gets P3 off Javi. Javi's definitely going backwards. I don't know if he's got the right strategy call here, but he's just getting swallowed by the cars behind. He's not keeping them behind at all.
I would like to point out here that we go down to turn 1, Javi in a platypus sandwich. That we started on half. But for anyone who wasn't here at the start, we started on half fuel, which is usually in these cars maybe about, I don't know, maybe about 12 laps depending on the car you're in. Maybe a little bit more if you're on a car with good fuel. Javi is in one of those cars. But the softs go a decent chunk of the way. It's only ×2 tire wear, so I'm questioning what the strategy is going to be here for Javi.
Well, Javi's going to get off the medium tyres fairly early, but he might have a lot of overtaking to do by the time he gets onto tyres that are better than everyone around him. So it's definitely a risk.
Yeah, and well, Slim is starting to peer himself back into the background.
Yeah, what tyres is Slim on?
Slim is... Oh, so this looks like a team decision. Oh, that did not look good there for Javi!
Javi's lost that position to BX and to Perry now, so he's down to P5. He's just ahead of his teammate Slim, who might want to be asking for team orders here, because Javi just doesn't seem to have a grip of this car at this stage of the race. Maybe he's just not as well practiced on these mediums, but yeah, Slim is definitely the one that's moving up out of the RX guys.
I swear to God, Otto is going to end up killing me with the amount of jokes he's putting in chat. But also we saw BX having a bit of a struggle there out of Spoon's curve, but at the end of the day, he's done about half an hour of practice, and RX leader Ben has just let us know that Javi's setup can be quite lethal, which is totally
well, we
not,
see that.
not the way you want to go. But yeah, strategy is going to be the main thing in this. We pointed this out at the start. We go to the back a little bit here with Gemrick and Street Fighter 9th and 10th, Wesley in 11th.
2 Pegasus in the top 10 now, ahead of Wesley, who's dropped all the way to 11th. What? He's just dropping like a stone here. He's on the medium tyres as well, but he just has no pace. A 2-minute 2 that lap is absolutely appalling.
Yeah, and to answer your question, Capel, yes, 2 different compounds of tyres must be used in this race. Some people
we're
are
going to get someone who doesn't do that, aren't we?
Oh, they're guaranteed. Guaranteed.
If they didn't know how many drivers they needed for tonight, then...
We're just going to go. CO2 is having... What has happened to Peachy?
He's on the fresh softs, it looks like, so he might be going for a completely different strategy, trying an aggressive undercut on the rest of the field, and he has put a bunch of fuel in his car. He's got 75% fuel as well, so he's going long. He's a lot of laps on those softs just to get off the mediums, I guess. That could be a decent strategy. We've seen it tried in the Group 3 League, and we also saw it in the Patreon race around Suzuka, people pitting early, so it can work. It's a bit of a gamble though. You have to, the cars ahead need to be battling a lot, which it doesn't really look like is happening too much at the moment.
Oh, Perry having a little bit of a slide there out of Spoon's curve as he is trying to hunt down Mortal right now, obviously.
He's
up ahead of Javi.
Well here. 4 tenths back, and they're both nearly 4 seconds back on Viking at this point.
We said this at the beginning, that Viking, given the cars around him, should have cruised off into the lead, and he is doing exactly that. And, well, Viking is a prior champion. We've got the defending champion who did not get off to any sort of a start. Never mind a good or a bad one, he just didn't get off to a start back in this. So there is definitely a lot of racing to go. We're only on lap 4 of 35. And a lot of strategy still to come. We've seen the first pit stop, so Peachy's going to have to try and get something to work, maybe 2 or 3 stop. We'll wait and see on how that game's going to play out.
Yeah, and it looks like Slim's just tucked in behind Javi. He's not got out the way for him at all, so I don't know. It's difficult to tell if Slim is getting held up by Javi or if they're just going to be playing the team game. Maybe Slim will be saving a bit of fuel. But yeah, they need to start pushing on these guys. But there's going to be quite a few laps before the softs start dropping off and the medium tire becomes the optimal one.
Oh, Mortal having a bit of an issue there in the first of the two Deckners, not having much of a better second one either. That might just allow Perry to try and get up close. Both of the cars, both of the drivers in a Merc 20, so no tire, no real car advantage at all here either. So it's just a case of the driver's skill level, and Snipes is closing in on both the Arix guys here, both in 5th and 6th.
Nice. So we are not too far away from Project Platypus potentially being all 3 drivers on the podium. It's not out of the question that these guys take a clean sweep tonight if something happens to Mortal.
If something happens to, yeah, Mortal. Well, Mortal's essentially on fire at the moment. It's every way possible. Since the middle of last season, he has just hit the ground running. So I still expect a lot from Mortal. Couple of time champion here in ALR, especially in the endurance races. So he knows what these kind of races actually take to be good. So
yeah,
valuable experience there in V2's ranks.
And he's holding off Perry pretty well here. They're in the exact same car. They might be set up slightly differently, but Perry not being able to find a way past or even challenge, but he might be going for a look down into turn 1. This is a very brave move from Perry, and he actually makes it, closes the door on Mortal in the middle between turn 1 and 2, and takes P2 with an absolutely fantastic move there. Yeah,
Perry down the inside. He had to pick a spot, and that's what I love. I've got $20 for whoever wants to slash Mortal tires. I don't think we could be advertising that. But Perry down the inside there. He had to pick his spot. He picked it nicely, and that's the beauty of racing at times. A driver just gets so poised, so locked into a decision that they just stick with it, regardless of the decision that or the consequences of that decision. And
he absolutely committed and went for it, and it is very difficult to overtake in turn 1 without one of the drivers ending up going off track as well. But they both managed to hold on to it pretty well there.
Yeah, Mortal's got a decision. Is he going to be able to get after Perry, who is absolutely flying at the moment, or is he going to try and sit back and defend for VX, who, albeit on half an hour of practice, is actually holding his own right now? Let's go back to see what the Arix guys and Snipes also doing a pretty good job for V2 at this point in time.
Yep, Snipes only 7/10 back from Slim, so he's the second highest placed V2 driver after Mortal. He's in the McLaren, so expect later in the stints this car to really come alive with the better tyre wear that it's got. Actually, Slim has dropped back from Javi a little bit, and now might actually have to start defending from Snipes. Is Snipes on mediums as well?
Nope, Snipes is on the soft tyre, which is entirely fair, given that he's on a McLaren and the yellow flag.
Oh, where's the yellow flag?
I know
not from the top 8.
Slim had a bit of an issue there. We've got yellow flags, but we're not sure who's caused them.
Maybe the yellow flag came out because he was wide. I don't know.
Potentially. Hammond is now in the pits off of his medium tyres, so that's the two tyre compounds settled for one of the SP drivers. But Slim playing with a literal tyre there, going off the track at the end. We saw Viking do that in qualifying and didn't get punished. And
BX Royal's been caught now by Javi, so I don't know if he's had a mistake somewhere. Maybe he brought up the yellow flag.
It's BX.
He's 4 seconds back on Mortal. He was only 4/10 back not too long ago.
Yeah,
and now he's having to defend for his life. That's the inexperience on the track coming out. He's got a bit of damage, it looks like, on his front. So maybe he clattered somewhere along the line.
Yeah, BX
Ben MK saying he must have spun, so
yeah.
He's done well to keep P4 if that's happened, gotta say.
Yeah, he must have gone too wide on the exit of 130, yeah, and that was the yellow flags, yeah. That makes entire sense.
He should still be safe, really, from an attack by Javi. Even though Javi's right on his tail right now, he's got the soft tyres BX on his car, so as long as he doesn't make any more mistakes, he should manage to gap Javi a little bit before the end of this stint. But if you just want to pop onto Slim, because Snipes is all over the back of him, I saw.
Yeah.
So Slim really struggling at this portion of the race. His last lap was a 2:07. I think you need to be aiming for under 2 minutes, really.
Yeah, he had the issue, didn't he, Slim, on the prior lap, where he went too wide here on the exit of the world corner 130R that we're about to come up to. That's what granted Snipes a chance, and also granted that 2.5 second gap that currently splits Slim and Javi. And you don't want to be going on the grass too many times. You'll get used to. And Ben's really confused as to why Slim and Javi are still on the medium. So it looked like it was a team plan that has not been executed in any way, shape or form.
They made a plan without Ben. They're still going for another lap as well. They decided not to take Ben's advice,
Yeah, Snipes did not have a nice chicane there whatsoever, because Slim has now broken that 1 second gap. The slipstream not really going to take effect whatsoever. Street Fighter is in 8th. Anmu in 9th, Gemrick in 10th, Pumpkin in 11th. So Pegasus are starting to move forward.
Yeah, on the mediums as well. We know that Porsche especially is quite good on the medium tyres compared to a lot of these other cars as well. It doesn't lose as much time. I don't know if that's because it's an MR car or just how the car was designed. But yeah, that car can put some decent laps together on the mediums. So Peachy pitted, I think, at the end of lap 2, and Hammers just pit a lap or two ago. Hammers just came out ahead of Peachy in the battle for the drivers that have already pit, and they'll both want to try and do quite a substantial undercut as well on all the drivers ahead, because they've got quite a big gap to just focus and put some laps in. CO2, I think, must be 20 odd seconds ahead at this point.
15 ahead
15.
of Hammers.
Oh,
so good. CO2 is not in a good position whatsoever here. He might be a little bit outpaced, and yeah, the end of lap 1 seems to be what Arix was meant to be going for, and proceeded not to go for. So Peachy did do the undercut as described by Ben on in the stream chat. We'll see how that played out. Hammers auto onto the soft now, so we'll see whether or not Hammers can hold off his tier 3 compatriot. I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
These two are both tier 3 in the actual Monday League, so these two should be fairly square to pace
Yeah, they were both in Tier 2 last season as well. We're giving them a little go in Tier 3 this time. But yeah, not representing Tier 3 the best because they are P14 and 15 right now. So
admittedly, this is in a race with tiers that are farly superior to Tier 3. No offense. Yeah, it
let's have a look at the front again. Let's see if
there's not a single second
battles
gap.
going on.
There's literally not a single one.
So BX has gapped Javi at this point. Slim's gapped MT Snipes as well. But the gap's still only about a second there. So very similar pace for these two drivers at this point in the race, but different compounds, different cars as well.
Looked like a tenth separated the two on the prior lap.
Very important here that Slim doesn't let Soft Runner overtake him and start to build a gap and cost him time as well at this point of the race, because if he can pit and put on the softs, Snipes is going to have to put on the mediums and he'll be able to just drive away essentially and think about closing the gap on BX Royal ahead later in the race.
Yeah, well, it seemed like the plan was meant to get Arix in as much of a clean air as humanly possible. I think that might have been the design from Ben and the Arix lads, and they haven't done it, and they don't have the clean air either. Well, they kind of do now, but they didn't at the start of the race, and Javi went from the front row to a little bit of a security in this race so far, but obviously the strategy... And
fuel's running out as well, we've got to remember. So in the next 2 or 3 laps, pretty much the entire grid will be in the pits. So this is the point where strategy is going to come into play, because obviously we know the undercut's going to be really powerful around here. It's quite a long lap, quite a lot of sweeping corners that the fresh soft tyres will really benefit with these guys. So any lap now, I'm expecting some of these guys to come in, and they'll be hoping to come out without any traffic, but easier said than done because we've got quite a big field spread now.
What happened to BX there? Javi's got past
Oh
him.
no!
BX has had another one.
Yeah, he's had a mare.
Had an absolute nightmare. Javi won in number 1, even though he won a different championship. Yeah, I guess so. There was no rule against that, but I guess we're going with it. Yeah, he got past BX. BX having another issue with that Ferrari, and that 30 minutes of practice is coming back into bite him because he's not had any chance to set aero values at any point. And so he's just driving essentially a stock Ferrari, which we all know. And anyone who actually drives the league knows this is not a good idea.
The Ferrari needs a little bit of fine-tuning.
A stock Ferrari could not be far from the worst.
His tyres are quite worn as well.
What is going on here? Iggy just asked if there's only a team standings for this.
Yeah, there's no drivers' championship in this. This is purely maximising your effort as a team, working together to become a champion for a team event. There's no drivers' honours in this one. In fact, a lot of teams probably won't have a driver complete every single race because there's so many in the team. Yeah,
it's one of those everyone's just gonna... Oh, Street Fighter's got up to 7th, by the way. He's putting in a little bit of a shift here for Pegasus.
Come alive now.
Yeah, he's starting to put 2 and 2 together in this race. Amru in 8th, Pumpkin is in 9th, and Genrick in 10th, but I'm pretty sure that, well, minus CO2 the last of the guys that haven't pit yet. The Street Fighter is definitely going for it. Got past Amru, got Snipes in his sights. 1.7 seconds, which means he's got BX just ahead of that as well.
Yep, I'm loving the rhyming there, Pyro. Snipes in his sights. So everyone seems to be driving very consistently, I've got to say. There's not any massive mistakes that we've seen so far, apart from maybe the opening lap. And BX obviously had a spin somewhere down the line as well.
We've had the 1 yellow flag for BX, and that is pretty much it. We will have a couple... I'm 99% sure, if I could speak, that we'll have a couple of stewards reports. One will probably be on BX for Amru because he did push him off. I'm pretty sure our Genric's going to have one as well in for a very similar incident at the top of the hill and the S's on lap 1. So stewards are not done being busy this week.
We were quite punctual, actually. Got our results out on Friday. That's like the first time we've managed to be that early, so...
Yeah, hold on a minute. Stewards results out before Monday? What's this?
So, still no one's come in the pits yet. Still no one's come in the pits yet, which is a bit of a surprise. All the top ones are extending as long as possible. This has to be surely the last lap. Looking at the fuel on some of these guys.
Everyone's starting to run out of fuel, so the cars with lesser fuel values in terms of how well they actually can maintain the fuel, Merc being one of them, Corvette in particular, it springs to mind, will have to pit maybe this lap on the next one. Mazdas should be able to go a decent chunk longer, even with medium tyres. So I'm still confused as to why they're on the medium tyres on half fuel, which is bewildering in the first place, but it is what it is. Also,
a little bit wide there from Andrew on the exit of Spoon. Lost a little bit of time to Street Fighter ahead of him.
Yeah, and as Snipes also extended on those two on the last lap. It's bewildering though. It's also incredibly funny to see that Ben's just in the stream chat trying to urge these two to pit. Every single lap it's cop, pit. Just in capital letters. Also Perry and BX are now into the pits.
Different people have pit. So Perry, BX are the first ones from the front lot to come in. Perry only 1% of his fuel left, so he's definitely pushed as hard as he could there in the opening stint.
Wesley on medium tyres to start as well, has come in on 0 fuel.
On 0. I wonder if he ran out of fuel before.
Slim has pit, so he must have missed that. Peachy is actually doing a good job as well. The two Pegasus had actually...
Yep, they'll be getting an undercut on people who will be coming in now.
CO2 now CO2 will go straight to the back. Peachy's undercut working fairly nicely. Same with Hammers.
And Hammers as well, yeah. So BX Royal only just a second ahead of Hammers going into turn 1, which shows how powerful the undercut was, but also the errors that BX made really has brought a lot of other drivers into the mix here for like a top 6 finished, to be honest. Because don't forget, like, the Arix guys might be at risk of getting undercut by Hammers now at this point because they've stayed out for so long.
Yeah, and I would find it extremely funny if Peachy somehow does the best in the Arix team. Ben just really sat there losing his goddamn mind.
Right, Capel and Ben in the chat think Javi's going to one-stop. That's not possible, I don't think, because Javi, we start the race on half fuel, 50%.
Well, you can do maybe 10 or 11 and a half, 22. Maybe if you can do if you do a little bit of fuel saving, I reckon it's doable. Here comes Hammers up the inside of BX here. It's definitely doable. Hammers is still hanging in the M6 against BX in the Ferrari. And BX is going to hang on for dear life there through the hairpin. Maybe this Ferrari is not the greatest of ideas.
I don't think the Ferrari is well suited to Suzuka, to be honest. That's why BX didn't initially volunteer to race here. We do have Viking and Mortal in the pits. Javi's going on again. Let's join Javi and have a quick look at his fuel, because he must have been fuel saving to be able to do an extra lap. And MT Snipes carrying on again. Yeah,
I will go to them. Well, McLaren's fuel, we know about that. We're quite experienced with that. Here comes Hammers. The reason why I haven't switched, Hammers looking to the inside, potentially going for a move here, and now he backs off as Slim is now in the pits. So Slim had not in fact pit. Mortal out, coming out. Is he going to get out in front of Perry? Is the undercut going to get Perry back out?
Are they going to
be there for Perry
overtake again in turn 1? Perry gets another overtake. This time around the outside of Mortal. He really needed to do that because Mortal had a...
Didn't Perry have a 4-second advantage on Mortal at one point?
Look, check the fuel. How much fuel? Perry's got 75%.
Mortal okay, yeah.
Is only on 50%. So Mortal should have all the speed over Perry at this point of the race, having a quarter of a tank less fuel in the same car as well. Don't forget. But Perry has track position, and that is crucial for Perry's race.
There's your 12 laps. He ain't getting any further than that.
Yeah, he isn't getting the 13th one. So if he really is going to try a one-stop, he's going to have to do 23 laps on the softs.
And half a lap goes 12, so it's doable on fuel. It's entirely doable on fuel. I don't know how the tyres are going to look in 23 laps, but...
He's going to have to fuel save a little bit better than he did in the first half of the race, that's for sure. to get that extra lap out. It looks like he's on 0 now. His fuel doesn't have any red in the gauge. So is he going to actually make it back to the pits?
He's still going.
He is still going.
Yeah, he's going to have enough. Just about.
Yeah, he makes it.
Oh, Snipes it in the wall!
Oh no! He would have been the race leader, and he just bins it.
We were talking about
what a great race for him so far as well, and yeah, he's gonna have to probably come in the pits now as well. He's not got enough fuel to do an extra lap.
We were talking about the lack of mistakes. Snipes just making a crucial mistake at the worst possible time. Yeah, he could have got away with that if he'd gotten a couple of corners. All he had to last until he was on a new set of tires, on a new fuel tank. He would have been very much clear. He would have been in a very good place to try and go after
been in
the
the mix, but he lost 12 seconds there to Javi.
Where the hell is Ben? He hadn't pit. When I told you he hadn't pit, he hadn't pit. He then
Peachy is actually the lead Arix driver now because of his very early pit stop.
The undercut, and here's where Ben. Oh, Street Fighter's in the wall!
Oh no, it's going from bad to worse for some of these guys. The mistakes are definitely creeping in as we enter into the second portion of the race. Down to 12th now.
Street Fighter having a mistake there. I'm going to pull my mic away. I'm sorry if I just took anyone's eardrums off.
Slim down in 13th as well. What's happened to Slim? A 2:22 outlap.
He definitely pitted once. I know that much.
He's got a full tank of fuel. No, he hasn't pit twice. He definitely hasn't pit twice.
No, 2:15 and a 2:22. That's usually not great. And 2:13 as well. So he's had a mistake somewhere. I'm not entirely sure what lap it was, but he definitely had something gone wrong. Street Fighter having him on that list now as well. Wedley up into 10th. Everyone having pit now for certain. So Wedley's starting to make his way through. Pumpkin is now the lead Pegasus driver, which is a shame because
they were doing quite well up until a few seconds ago.
Well, Street Fighter was beside Snipes and BX.
Yeah.
And then, well, Snipes is dead and Street Fighter's dead. So
still a long way to go though. We're only about a third of the way into the race, so lots of time for other drivers to absolutely bottle it, which I'm sure we'll see at various points. Peachy down into P7. He's let Arix Javi overtake him in, well, just to start chasing down the guys at the top, I suppose.
Yeah, it would probably, if not team orders, then just get out the way. I'm quicker. I'm on soft tires now.
Ben doesn't approve of the 2:13 set by Slim, by the way.
It's incredible. We get to bully everyone. It's going to be a great 8 weeks.
Wesley's shaping up on a move now from Andrew, and he backs out of it into turn 1. Very similar. Oh no, he's going to go for it into turn 2, but the door gets closed by Andrew, and Andrew keeps that position. And we're going to go through the tight S's now, where we've seen a lot of drivers come off the track here, and Andrew's under a lot of pressure. What are you laughing at?
Oh god, I'm laughing at you, Andrew. The V2 guys are gonna look back at this and it's gonna be slaughtering.
I'm sure that's his real name, and if it's not, it is now. So
if it is, then you're lucky. I'm gonna call him Andrew. As for the guy who just asked what happens if a driver gets thirsty, they'll just one hand on a wheel or keep thirsty for the entire race, either or. But yeah, unless they have a proper rig and got themselves all the drink set up and everything, and no one's got enough money here.
No, I just have a drink in the pits.
Yeah, you just get to the pit lane. Capel, you did not just say that. I'm not reporting that. I'm not repeating that on stream. But yeah, Amru's holding off Wedley quite nicely here. Mazda versus the Merc. Medium tyres for Amru, soft for Wedley. So this is quite interesting that Amru is able to actually hold on. Definitely holding on for dear life.
A lot of pressure now. Is Wesley on the softs?
Yeah, he is, and he's going to try and make it count here. Around the outside.
Around the outside.
Oh, this could go badly, or this could go perfectly. Andrew
backs out of it. Yeah, that's a clever thing to do instead of risking it. We've still got a long way to go in this race.
And
he was probably going to lose the battle anyway on the medium tyres, so...
Yeah, it's definitely a self-preservation tactic if absolutely nothing else. Javi past Hammond now as well, down the inside at turn 1, and he's going to make it stick with Mortal having an absolute nightmare in the distance there in the background of the screen. He was off at turn 1 and through turn 2.
Yeah, he's just only 2 tenths ahead of Javi now, so he'll be holding up Javi for the Project Platypus guys. Oh,
he won't be holding him up at all. Down the inside goes Javi. And it's a pretty good move. A mistake from Mortal compounded by another, and here comes Hammers.
And another mistake from Mortal as well. Hammers is going to come through now.
And it's going to be Hammers who moves up into 5th place. You compounded a mistake with another mistake, and you got punished by not 1, but 3 different guys as a result.
And it's not over yet because Mortal is only a little bit ahead of Peachy, but instead he's going to try and have a go round at Hammers again now that his tyres aren't dirty anymore. Hammers got the inside for the hairpin. Mortal's going to try and stick it around the outside. He's got really good traction, and that is a great overtake around the outside once again from Mortal to get P5 back at least.
Yeah, that exit is a thing of beauty there by Mortal. But yeah, you make that one mistake. We just saw Mortal going off at turn 1. And, well, he got punished quite harshly there.
Yeah.
Because that's not even where you go into, not even gravel or anything on the outside of turn 1. It's just a case of sliding off.
You just keep going.
Yeah. It's just tarmac away out there. So, yeah, he just got punished quite harshly there by a slight mistake. Cruises out to Javi and BX. Javi, once again, making his way back into a little bit of relevancy in this race. So...
Yep, he's really in BX now as well, and roles are reversed a little bit because BX obviously was ahead of Javi on the soft tyres. Now he's on the medium tyres and Javi's on the softs, and he's gonna probably have to do a lot of defending and become that one driver who might have to sacrifice himself for the 2 in front to stop Javi from closing the gap on the other 2 by potentially going ultra defensive here once Javi catches up to him. That's providing Javi actually does catch up to him though, because we know BX is good if he doesn't put a foot wrong.
At the end of the day, BX, Perry, Viking, all on the same team, so BX is definitely just going to play the role of Checo Perez in 2021. Just sit there and defend as long as he humanly can, as Javi is currently on the fastest lap right now. Javi 21 seconds to lead. How long is the pit stop plus fuel? Good question. Perry has 75% fuel, so I don't know if he will necessarily need another stop, but we'll wait and see. But yeah, Viking and Perry are quite drastically in front on track. But there's got to be, BX has now got to do a number on Javi here for Team Platinum.
Yeah. Especially if Javi is actually going to only do 1 stop. I still don't believe that's possible. I think that he wouldn't be all over the back of BX. He is short shifting, so he's going to try it. He might need a splash and dash though, I think.
I'm not sure, 'cause if he did 12 in the first stint on a half tank, it would insinuate his full tank will go 24. He only needed 23. So
he's 20 seconds behind Viking at the moment.
Yeah, but hasn't Viking got to pit again? Yeah, he has.
Viking's going to pit again. He's going to put on soft tyres at the end. And
it's a case of how long is the pit stop?
Well, it's going to be how long is BX going to hold up Javi for? Is there going to be... I think if he gets 25-30 seconds on him, it's game over for Javi.
Again,
so he needs to... But how can you overtake someone when you're trying to short shift and you can't really take advantage of the slipstream, because if you push too hard, you're not going to get to the end.
Yeah, fair. At the end of the day, it's also it's times 2 the tyre wear. Also, here comes Javi to the inside. A little bit of contact there with BX on the outside of turn 1. That is a good move, however, there by Javi. And, well, every single point you just made has been made mute in about 3 corners.
Yeah, absolutely.